Hi guys, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Joey Sturgis Tones bus glue plugin, specifically the one for guitars. I started using this plugin recently and it's really kind of transformed and made my workflow a lot quicker when it comes to guitar mix bus processing. So we'll have a quick listen to the track first. So yeah, that's obviously quite a heavy part of the song. This particular part of the song was quad tracked, not the traditional way of doing rhythm guitars as such, which you would obviously normally expect double track, but we've got two guitars which have had an octave pedal on, and then there's just two normal rhythm guitars, so it's just a basic distortion patch with not too much going on. So within the plugin itself, to start with, we have a tone option which we can obviously alternate between bright and dark, as you can see. We have a harmonics section where you can go with more or less. There's also a compression section where we have the option to tame, clamp or smash, and then we have a compression amount as well, between low, medium and max. We also have a mix knob, which I really like actually as well, so that's great for parallel processing without having to resort to different buses as such. If you really want to get clamped down hard, but you don't want too much of it in the mix, obviously you could maybe go half or less. And then obviously, quite importantly, you have a output knob as well, which is important to level match with whatever you add in, making sure it's not louder than what it was before the plugin was added, because obviously we have a tendency to hear things that are louder and automatically think they're better, which is not always the case. So you'll see here the things that I've done. I have actually reduced the output by 2.5 dB just to make sure it's the same level it was before the plugin was added. So yeah, on this particular part of the song, which I've said is single note, so there's not actually any full chords in this part of the track, I've gone for the bright switch on the tone just to kind of bring out some note clarity, and I've also boosted the harmonics, obviously going for the more switch, just to kind of add in, adding some warmth into the low mids that may have been there in a higher quantity if it had been chords. But with it being single notes, I'd prefer to have that in. And I've also added compression using the clamp mode as well. Now, with it being single notes and quite a harsh pick attack, I just wanted to make sure they weren't bursting out of the speakers too much, and also the sustain after the initial pick attack was still quite present in the mix and not getting fully lost. So I've gone for a sort of a medium amount of compression there. And the mix is on full as well. I'm quite happy to have that in. It's not something that was too much where it was really obvious, so I've opted for 100% on the mix there. So let's have a quick listen to the guitar soloed. We'll listen with the plugin engaged first, and then we'll have a listen with it bypassed as well. So yeah, they're sounding great on their own. Obviously with this plugin engaged as well, it's gluing them together, which is obviously the whole purpose of it, and we're adding in some obviously extra characteristics with the bright switch engaged and the harmonics engaged as well. So we'll have another listen now, but we'll have the plugin bypassed. So again, the guitars, even with the plugin bypass, sound great on their own, but it's obviously important to have the source sound great before you start adding plugins like this at the end of the chain, because they're not there to kind of make or break the sound. These are there to kind of add that final 10 to 20%, of finishing it off and gluing it together. So yeah, quite happy that they sound good, you know, straight off the bat. But this plugin added on, obviously adding the characteristics, you know, adding some brightness, some presence, adding some extra harmonics, and obviously this is clamping down on that pick attack is obviously just bringing it all together so that by the time it's in the full mix, we're getting this sound. So I'm really happy with how that sounds overall. It may seem quite simple in what it's doing, but it's obviously an important task, gluing down your guitar bus and getting everything working together in the context of itself, and obviously most importantly within the context of the track. So the moves may seem quite simple, but obviously they're really important because they're contributing to the overall picture, obviously the overall sound of the song. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking this out if you're looking for something to simplify your guitar mix bus rather than having a few EQs and then a compressor and then maybe some console emulation. You know, that kind of workflow, which I've done before in the past, is great, but if you're looking for something to get a quicker result, and a great result at that, then obviously this is a good plugin to check out. I will in future try this with maybe some clean guitars as well, especially if I've got something that's kind of a clean or low mid gain that's got a lot more kind of notes going on. I'd quite like to see how the smash mode on the compressor works as well. But in this particular context, as we've gone through with single note definition, the clamp mode has worked really well on this, making sure that pick attack stays there, but it's not too overbearing. And obviously the sustain where there's no pick attack happening is obviously nice and upfront as well. So yeah, really happy with this plugin. Hope you get some use out of it as well. Talk to you soon.